Hey everybody, welcome to the Jaden Show. I hope you've had a wonderful week. It's been so long since I've seen you and spent time with you. But thank God I am back again with another wonderful guest. I'm very excited about this week's show because I'm going to Chicago to meet poet, singer, rapper, artist, Austen the Poet. You're going to meet him in just a few seconds. However, I think we should go and listen to some of his music. This is Austen the Poet. This is Maniac.
Got me looking like a maniac. Got me all spread out like a jumping jack. Sweaty face, quick pace like I'm running track. Babe Ruth, can you hit me with your baseball bat? Don't know what to do and I can't find the words. Got me looking like a maniac. Got me all spread out like a jumping jack. Sweaty face, quick pace like I'm running track. Babe Ruth, can you hit me with your baseball bat? Don't know what to do and I can't find the words. Time to make your move. If you don't, this'll never work. Boy, don't tempt me with a good time, cause I ain't showing you what's yours until you know what's mine. I'm not Madonna, babe, this ain't my first time. What's here tonight gon' be revealed in morning sunshine. Boy, this ain't like me. You're Mr. Kruger, where you're turning up in all my dreams. Don't mean offense, but to be honest, it's embarrassing. Ain't in my nature, but tonight you got me looking like a maniac. Got me all spread out like a jumping jack. Sweaty face, quick pace like I'm running track. Babe, can you hit me with your baseball bat? Don't know what to do and I can't find the words. Time to make your move. If you don't, this'll never work. Boy, I've been trying but I ain't slick. Been clocking you out every corner, call it tick tick. Don't need to check up, you the one I wanna mate with. Tell me your secrets and I promise that I won't snitch. Boy, let's get it started. I'll do the dishes if you clean my carpet. Always a discount shopping at my market. Did the impossible tonight, she got me looking like a maniac. Got me all spread out like a jumping jack. Sweaty face, quick pace like I'm running track. Babe Ruth, can you hit me with your baseball bat? Don't know what to do and I can't find the words. Time to make your move. If you don't, this'll never work. Wait, I know there's some new territory. I know my body on fire, no crematory. I also know that if you want it, then you better hurry. D.E.D. Dexter, this love is not a laboratory. You not Gabby Douglas, flip-flopping on your stories like your name Columbus. Lewis and Clark, but you left your compass. Ain't Sackett your way, I ain't your Pocahontas. Got me looking like a maniac. Got me all spread out like a jumping jack. Sweaty face, quick pace like I'm running track. Babe, can you hit me with your baseball bat? Don't know what to do and I can't find the words. Time to make your move. If you don't, this'll never work.
Are you ready, kids? Let's go and meet this week's incredibly special guest, the amazing Austen the Poet. Austen the Poet, welcome to the Jaden Show. How are you doing, mister?
I'm doing really good. How about you?
I'm very well, thank you. It's awfully lovely to see you. You're in Chicago, right?
Yes, I'm in Chicago.
Is it really a windy city?
It really is. Yeah, thankfully we're in the summer right now, so like it feels a little bit better outside, but that winter weather will get you.
Really? I've never been, actually, and I've got some friends out in Chicago. I should visit at some point, but
Yeah, it's a great city.
Yeah, no, I've heard actually some amazing things, but I just always knew it as the Windy City, and I didn't know if it was all year windy. I mean, everyone thinks that London is raining all year, but actually we have some 3 glorious days a year. You know,
3.
3. No, we have lots of good weather in the UK. I was just wondering if the Windy City lives up to its reputation.
It definitely does. Whenever you come, just make sure you bring a lot of jackets.
Really,
Mm-hmm. Jackets.
I will quiz you before my journey to make sure I've got my packing list.
Cool. Cool. Good deal.
Enough about my future needs of travel. Let's go to talk about you. And now, Austen the Poet, but you sing and you rap.
Yeah.
Why
Yeah.
Austen the Poet? Why not Austen the rapper? Austen the singer? Tell me.
Well, that's a good question. It sort of came from a place of sort of wanting to do everything. I've always been a creator. I draw. If you go on my Instagram, you see I have drawings there, and then I also write poetry. I just wrote a poetry book, so I kind of do a lot of everything. So when I was sort of like creating this like stage name for myself, I wanted a way to align my poetry with my music, with my visuals, and sort of include all of that. So that's where the poet came from. Just sort of like I needed it's just something to like.
I guess both are kind of, it's, they're both creative. I guess every song without music could possibly be a poem, right?
Exactly. Yeah. And I think, rap and hip hop in general, there's all kinds of poetry you can find within that genre. And just, lyricism in general is such a gift. It's something that you have to really work hard to perfect. And so poetry just seem like,
encompasses everything. Yeah. So how long have you been Austen the Poet for?
Only about like a little over 2 years now.
Okay.
I'm very, very new. I think it was during the pandemic, really, when all of us had so much time on our hands. I kind of had to sit down with myself, and I was like, "What does my artistry look like?" Because I had, like I said, I've been creating my whole life, and I sort of realized I got to a point where I didn't know what my footprint as an artist looked like.
Okay.
In the grand scheme of life. So I just sort of set out to sort of create this sort of hub where I could put all of my artistry into and create kind of an experience within that. And that was only a couple years ago. So I'm still sort of like finding that lane. So yeah, it's pretty new.
So how old are you now?
I am 22.
Oh my God, you're ancient.
It feels that way.
I'm 27, and the Mexican weather is really killing my So how did it all start? I'll say, how did it all start for young Austen? But you're still young Austen. So how did it start for baby Austen? Like, what musical background did the poetry become before the music? I mean, how did all that mishmash of wonder create the man that you are today?
Well, my mom always says that I've been drawing ever since I could hold a pencil. So when I was like really little, I wanted to be a comic book artist, and that was like my thing. I was always drawing superheroes on the corner of notebook paper and making up my own superheroes. So, and then as sort of I got through the school system, I discovered choir. And I became a choir kid for a few years. So it really sort of started there in that public school education with choir. And then that sort of choir education turned into a love of musical theater, which then moved on to a love for theater. And then I sort of just, started doing it all. Because then I realized I was like, yeah, if it's all available to me, why not?
Absolutely. So when did you, did your songwriting come before your poem writing, or did they both happen at the same time, or how did that like come about?
It's sort of hard to pinpoint, honestly, because that sort of like pandemic area, that sort of 2020 to 2021 area is sort of where all of this started solidifying. And it kind of just started sort of dovetailing on top of each other. I would sort of play around in GarageBand and make a beat, and then I would put lyrics on top of that. But then separately, I would I have a notes app in my phone where I put sort of like seeds or ideas for whether it's lyrics or if it's like a free write for, a short story or something. I always just keep that running.
Mhm.
So it's sort of interesting because I will get an idea for a project and I won't necessarily know if it's going to be a poem or if it's going to be a song or what. So it sort of just molds from an idea rather than setting out for a specific medium.
Do you have a preference? I mean, do you think, oh my God, I really love writing poetry, going to get my book published, blah, blah, blah? Or do you think, oh my God, I really love when this becomes a song?
Right. I honestly think I'm partial to the music. I really like when a song clicks really well, and whenever I can write a lyric that I feel really excited about,
Yeah.
it's just such a release. It's so nice. I think music
A
really.
bit like therapy, really, to be fair.
Yeah, yeah. You like find the words to say something that you've been waiting to say, and it's just there in front of you all of a sudden. It's really nice.
That's amazing, man. So, did your poetry kind of becoming less personal and more public? What was you giving out to the audience first? Were you giving out your poems first, or were you hitting them with your music, or did they both kind of start being released at the same time?
Yeah, it kind of started with the music first, as far
Okay.
as the public, because there's as artists, you know how it goes. You sort of like create something, and you aren't really sure if you want to monetize it or even just like have it open to people to talk about, because the something can feel very personal to you, and then once you put it out there for everyone to see, now everyone has an opinion on it.
Yeah, of course.
And some things you don't want people to have an opinion on. They're just yours. So I think music was sort of easier for me to send out at first because I could hide it in metaphor. I could hide it in, a really good beat or a really good melody. And then the poetry is just a little bit more personal, I think. It's sort of more direct and open. Um, Obviously there's a give and take there because one can be more than the other in different scenarios, but I think music was where I found myself most comfortably
Okay.
using. Yeah.
So, what kind of music were you into, and are you into? I mean, like, what were your musical tastes, your family background of music, and has it changed since you've been an artist yourself?
I think it has changed since I started creating music, but not very much. I know that when I started in choir in middle school. Oh, sorry, I got a ding. I know that when I started in choir or in middle school and stuff like that, I was drawn to like musical theater. And that sort of came from my mom, who majored in musical theater in
Okay.
college, and so I come from a lot of musical people. Um, and then that sort of dovetailed into just like top 40 hits on the radio. So I was super into like Katy Perry and Kesha and Nicki Minaj and like all that early 2010s. Love that era. And then now as I've sort of matured and I've sort of can rely on my own ear rather than the radio now. I'm much more into like R&B. I don't know if you know who Amber Mark is, but she's an incredibly talented R&B artist, and Ari Lennox and Summer Walker. So I sort of moved from this love of pop music to now this love of R&B that's really sort of in its infancy, I guess.
Mhm.
So it's sort of like my music is kind of a an amalgamation of like high pop and then R&B and then just like camp musical theater. Like there's just so much going on under there.
Amazing, man. I think I started the opposite. I think I started on. See, I'm obviously way older, so when you say and the old artists back in the day in 2000, I'm like, okay, I'm listening to No Diggity by Blackstreet back in the day. You understand? Like this is like that was, and even that wasn't that long ago. So I was kind of I was back into like the R&B and pop flavor back in the day, and then when I noticed actually that my voice was more musical theatre,
Mm.
and I was kind of really, I wasn't like anti it. I just wasn't really into it. Like it just didn't, because like I think I've been to like 3 musicals in my life, maybe 4. And I remember actually singing in a night of the musical. So it was the guy that played Phantom in the West End, the woman that played one of the witches in Wicked, and me. and some theatre arts kind of students that have graduated and stuff like that. And it was really interesting. I closed my eyes and I was listening to the guys singing, and they were all singing like this, and they all sound the same, and you didn't know with their eyes closed which one was singing. And it was like, oh my God, like it just sounded almost like conveyor belt vocals. Like I really didn't know that one guy had shut up and another guy had joined. I was like, wow, when did that boy start? Because they just sounded, they were just so perfectly trained. It was wonderful. But then I kind of started to find a beauty within that as well, you know, and we're still into my pop R&B, but I really started enjoying singing classical crossover and musical theatre, you know. And so I went the opposite of you. I went from pop R&B and hip hop into musical theatre. And now my playlist is like spanning 80 years, mate. I've got the most random Spotify playlist going. So, but no, I kind of get that. If you were sitting back on a Sunday afternoon and chilling, who would be probably your first go-to?
Ooh, for listening to music?
Yeah, on your Spotify playlist.
There's an R&B artist. Her name is Victoria Monet, and she sort of like got her start writing for Ariana Grande. Okay. So she writes some of her music, and I've been a huge Ariana Grande fan for a long time. Mm-hmm. So then I naturally stumbled upon Victoria Monet because they sort of run in the same circles. Mm-hmm. And if you just need like a nice, calm, chill Sunday vibe, Victoria Monet is the way to go.
Is the way to go.
100%.
The minute this is over, I'm going on my Spotify and checking that out. You do realize that.
Please do.
Thank you for educating me on what music is down with the kids these days.
No problem. Well, I'm here for it.
So, poet, artist, singer, rapper. We've just watched your video, Maniac, the lyric video. Bloody great song. Absolutely love it. What are you doing at the moment? What's happening? What's cooking?
Yeah, right now I'm just finishing up this EP I'm about to release. It's sort of like a mix between 80s and horror and modern R&B. It's sort of like a love child of those three things. And I'm putting the finishing touches on that right now. I just got to Chicago not even a few weeks ago, so I'm still sort of like finding my footing here. But this project is something that I started last year, so I'm kind of seeing it through to the end. And the first single of that project comes out a week from today. I don't know when this will be out, but July 14th.
August, I already would have been out by then. How exciting!
Oh, cool. Okay, well, yeah, go listen to it then.
Absolutely. It's going to be on Spotify, Apple, everywhere, right?
Mm-hmm, yeah, for sure. And then, so that'll be out July 14th. Go listen to it. And then there'll be another single coming out August 11th. And then the whole project will be coming out September 1st.
Wow.
Just moving that project through. Yeah.
You were on that. So where were you before Chicago?
I was in Texas, actually.
Okay. Born and bred in
Texas? So I lived in Chicago. I was born and raised in Chicago. And then my parents moved to Texas because they hate cold weather. Ironically, because they were also born and raised in Chicago. So like, I don't understand. They ran for the South. And then now I had graduated college and I was ready to get out of Texas summers. They are brutal. So I ran back up to the north so I could put back on my jackets and my beanies and not, sweat.
Yeah, I live just south of Cancun in Mexico, and the boy is dying, you understand.
Oh my goodness.
We ain't used to it. We don't even get this weather. My night weather is hotter than my high daytime summer temperature. Like I can't be doing all this. So I'm actually now looking for colder places in Mexico to live now. Because this is
I would do.
Boys,
I would do.
I don't think I'm fat. I think I'm inflamed. I think it's what it is. That's what the blood is. But yeah, so I get that. So did you move back? Did all your family move back, or you just moved back?
I just moved back. So I have a lot of like extended family here because this is where my family is like originally from. Okay. But my nuclear family is the Texas gang, and I just sort of once I got back up here.
Nice, man. And does it feel like being back home?
It really does.
Really?
It's really nice. Yeah, you just come back and there's just this like atmosphere that you didn't even really know you were missing technically. But it feels like you're meant to be there, you know, it just feels right. And
Amazing.
then add on top of that, the music scene here is just so there's so much opportunity and there's so many creative voices just like rumbling beneath the surface and you can kind of feel that. And I just it's very exciting.
So your plans are not only an EP, but what about like where people can see you? What about kind of gigging publicly? Is that going to be happening?
Yeah, that's a good question. It's something that so this EP that I'm about to drop is the third one. So like I said, I've only been doing this a couple years, so I'm still very new to it. So I haven't opened the door to doing like live performances or booked gigs or anything like that yet. But who you know, now that I'm in Chicago, we'll see what happens.
Yeah, if you're a bit in a nice stable foundation base, maybe you
Yeah, for sure, for sure.
be amazing. So, any more music videos? What I mean, like 10 years time. What's Austin the Poet doing?
Oh, 10 years time. It's one of those things where like I said earlier, I have that sort of like process where I have an idea but I don't know what it is yet. I don't know if it's a poem or a song or what. um but there are so many places that I see this sort of project of mine going, and you know, I just think about elevating it and making it richer and having, you know, maybe longer music projects or somehow tying the poetry to the music. So when you have a poetry book, you also have a companion album to listen to, or, you know, and there are so many avenues that I could go down. But really, I'm just like standing at the edge of a cliff and I'm like about to take flight.
That's amazing, and it's great fun. Just not. Sometimes it's really nice not to have plans. I think sometimes plans and expectations breed disappointment. So just to be authentic in that moment and see where it goes and where it takes you is the best and the most enjoyable thing. There's an old saying that I've kind of lived by, that you know the journey is the destination actually.
Mm-hmm.
The things that you learn, the people that you meet, the wisdom that you gain about how to make your skills better and stuff like that. That's all. You wouldn't get that if you were straight from zero to hero in like 3.5 years. But it's the work
Yeah.
that you do, the people that you meet, the collaborations and stuff. So I think you're in an amazing place of creativity because you're being your authentic self, but you've got so many pages to fill. That's super cool, man. I'm not envious at all. You
Thanks.
understand?
No, not at all. I
We're
mean,
all
you're
right.
in Cancun. I wish I was in Cancun.
You don't in this weather, mate. Really, October to March, paradise. April, like the pits of hell.
Noted,
The pits
noted.
of hell that
Well,
someone's thrown water on and made it really humid. Yeah, it's a bit of
oh my god,
a killer.
that's
Yeah.
horrible.
Well, yeah, but it means I have to stay inside and do loads more shows and music. So actually, I kind of use it to my advantage. You understand?
Hey, there you go.
So
Yeah,
obviously, I'm already a fan, so I know where I can find you on social media. But where are you? Where can I send people to?
yeah. Well, my main source of sort of communication is Instagram. So I'm on Instagram at Austen the Poet. And then I have a YouTube channel at Austen the Poet. And then on TikTok, I'm Austen the Poet Music. And yeah, that's sort of like TikTok is sort of new for me. I'm sort of just uploading slowly but surely. But Instagram is sort of that main hub.
Okay, sweet. So everyone at home, you know where to find this man. Go and check him out on his social media platforms. Go and show him some love and support on his new and exciting journey into the world of music and celebrity and creativity. So, Austin, thank you so much for being on my show. I hope we stay in touch and I hope you come back and tell me how things are going. How is your stuff generally being received at the moment? Are you quite happy? Or is
Yeah.
it, or are you keeping it almost like completed to yourself and kind of not telling anyone? Or are people coming back and saying, "Oh, that was dope, man! I really love that track you just done." I mean, how's it going? What is your feedback at the moment?
Yeah, I mean it's been going pretty well. I think that I sort of plateaued once I started sort of releasing my projects and promoting them myself. Then I was like, oh, the only people that are going to get to see this are people that follow me.
Yeah.
So I'm sort of at that stage right now where I'm trying to find ways to get my music to people that don't know me, which so that's become like the new challenge.
Okay.
But overall, I've been very happy with the way that they've been sort of settling into the universe, you know.
That's amazing, man. Well, I wish you all the love and luck in the world. I'm sure you're going to be a super success. And don't forget me when you're famous and touring with Ariana. Do you remember that little sweaty English boy in Cancun?
You're right here always.
Liking it. Austen the Poet, you are a diamond. Thank you so much for being part of my show. And we will catch up again soon.
Yeah, thank you for having me.
Pleasure, mate. You take good care. See you soon. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Wishing him the most amazing luck. He's such a cool guy and what an amazing talent. Please go and find him on his social media platforms, on his Instagram, on his YouTube, and on his TikTok. Go and show that man some love and support as he starts his journey into this wonderful world of creativity. None of us can do it without you. So please make sure that you show some love and support. Austen, thank you so much for being on my show. Kids at home, thank you so much for tuning in. Thank you so much for spending a little bit of time with us today on the Jaden Show. I hope you'll come back again next week and meet my next very, very special guest. It's going to be amazing. I can't tell you who it is, but I know you're going to want to watch it. Come and find me on my social media platforms too. I'm everywhere and probably on some places I don't particularly want to be. If you put Jaden Cornelious with an IOUS in Google, you'll see where this boy's at. So please follow me. Please like me. Please share me. Please retweet me. Please subscribe to me. Please comment. Oh my God, just keep in touch. I'm desperate for friends. It'd be lovely to speak to you on other platforms as well. You take very good care of yourself. I will see you next Sunday on the Jaden Show. I'm going to leave you with Climbed Up by the wonderful Austen the Poet. Stay beautiful. See you next week. Bye-bye.
Tell them that it's been times up. Tell them I ain't giving out what's in my cup. Tell them that I'm too high up. Tell them it's a pedestal I've been climbed up. Tell them that it's been times up. Tell them I ain't giving out what's in my cup. Tell them that I'm too high up. Tell them it's a pedestal I've been climbed up. Often imitated, never duplicated. You don't believe me, better ask all of the dudes I dated. All the teams I made it, all the fish I baited. My name ain't Tyler, but they want the shit that I created. They try to hit me on my Steve Jobs. I judge them hard, judge them tough on my Michelle Visage. Begging on their knees like a B job. Need jobs before I let you see my Nicki Minaj. Slide some oil to me, Texaco. Then we'll ease down the road down to Mexico. Walk on like a dog, like a pet to toe. No need to click his heels, he ain't going back to home. If I want it, I'ma get it. Austin Bolton, I'ma bet it. Austin Christ, cause if you don't get right with me, you gon' regret it. Austin X, cause if you tell my fire to freeze, I ain't gon' let it. Austin Reap, cause if you're holding on to beef, you better dead it. Yeah. Tell them that it's been times up. Tell them I ain't giving out what's in my cup. Tell them that I'm too high up. Tell them it's a pedestal I've been climbed up. Tell them that it's been times up. Tell them I ain't giving out what's in my cup. Tell them that I'm too high up. Tell them it's a pedestal I've been climbed up. Just be doing this shit off the top of my head. Already getting what Aretha said. Picked it up real quick like the bitch was a trend. You still fighting with the beat like the bitch want you dead. On every song like it's Rocky 5. We'll be lucky if you come out the track alive. Wonder if I should call 1 to 9. Track list sounded like and yikes. You need a tune-up, Texaco. It's all going south and I ain't talking Mexico. I stay booked, Dewey Decimal. Everyone can get a read and you're next to go. Think it, then I do it. Austin Garden like I grew it. Austin Clack as if my man pull out a Bonnie, I'm a shooter. Austin Hike as Cameron Jekyll wouldn't let me out the scooter. Austin lied, I'm gonna die before I tell you what that do to cure. Tell them that it's been times up. Tell them I ain't giving out what's in my cup. Tell them that I'm too high up. Tell them it's a pedestal I've been climbed up. Tell them that it's been times up. Tell them I ain't giving out what's in my cup. Tell them that I'm too high up. Tell them it's a pedestal I've been climbed up. Tell them that it's been times up. Tell them I ain't giving out what's in my cup. Tell them that I'm too high up. Tell them it's a pedestal I've been climbed up. Tell them that it's been times up. Tell them I ain't giving out what's in my cup. Tell them that I'm too high up. Tell him it's a pedestal I've been climbed up.